Yo, what's up, Easy fam? It's your boy Easy E of Easy E's Entertainment. I'm gonna do a little video here for you guys. I found these settings on YouTube also, but I wanted to have access to these of my own for a lot of people on Facebook who are always asking what's the best Streamlabs OBS settings or OBS Streamlabs, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is good for whether you have a low-end build, high-end build, it does not matter. These are probably the best settings that I have found, and I have tried all of them, and I actually found them, seen them off of a guy off of YouTube, but I'm going to make this video and post it up on my YouTube page also. Okay, first off, you got the general tab. Really nothing in here is important. Everything can just stay the way it is. The only thing you want to make sure you keep turned unchecked is this disable hardware acceleration. You do not want this checked. Leave this unchecked. As far as stream goes, it's self-explanatory. Anybody that Streamlabs already knows what all this is, so I'm not gonna go over that in detail. Your output here is the main thing. You want to make sure your output is in advanced. Obviously, we're not gonna get into the audio track. Your encoder. If you have a Nvidia graphics card, you are going to want to use NVENC New. Definitely want to use NVENC New. If you use NVENC Old, it's going to limit your options. You don't want to use that. AMD users, I apologize, this video isn't going to be for you. I will probably try to do a separate video for you guys because I used to have an AMD card in my PC, and I had found the best settings I had found to use for that also. But anyhow, all right, hardware NVENC New. You're going to want to check enforce stream service encoder settings. Streaming service encoder. Man, I can't talk. Anyway. Rate control, CBR. You want to use CBR. No, never use anything other than CBR. Bit rate, 3500 bit rate. Dude, don't go any higher than 3500 bit rate. It's going to keep streams. They're going to look better. They're going to be more consistent. So leave it at 3500. Keyframe interval. I know Twitch and Facebook call for 2. Leave this on auto. Don't mess this. So put it on 0. That's auto. Leave it on 0. Your preset, max performance. This is a big thing. Always put max performance. And unless you have like a really high-end, new GPU like myself, I have a 1080 Ti. Yes, it is somewhat of a super card still. It is an 11 gigabit card. It is a very powerful card, but I just put it on max performance. It's going to look good. It's going to help you out. Profile, high, that's the default. Leave it high. Look ahead. Do not do look ahead. It's not going to help you any. Don't do it. Psycho visual tuning. You can turn this on or off. It really doesn't matter. It does make your stream look a little better if you turn this on. So leave this running. Your max B frames, always leave it to GPU 0 because obviously all you have is 1. So just leave it at 0. But if you, what in the hell just happened? I think I broke it. Anyway, leave it at 0, 1, whatever. So then you're going to go audio. None of this really matters. It's all self-explanatory. If you've had it, you've already got all this set up. Okay, here's another big one. So if your base canvas of your monitor is 1920 by 1080, you want to leave your base canvas at whatever your native resolution is for your monitor. Don't change that. Your output scaled resolution. Here's the kicker. Change this here. Do not change this anywhere else. Change this here. You're going to want to run 1280 by 720. There's no need to run a 1920 by 1080 stream because 95% of people are not going to be able to watch it unless they're at home. Unless they're at home and they have a great Wi-Fi signal, because it's just going to buffer and it's going to look like shit. So I'm just going to be honest with you. Don't run it, dude. Don't run anything other than 1280 by 720p. Just don't, because it's just you're wasting your time and your viewers' time. Okay, as far as your downscale filter. At first, I was running I can't think of that. It's the very first one on the list. It's It is the fastest downscaling filter, but it is very, like, if it's downscaling itself, it looks blurry. It doesn't look good. It's gonna look like shit, and people are not gonna watch it. The second one on the list, I can't think of the name of it. It does look a little better, but I found that the Lanczos, however the hell you say that word, is the best I have found. It looks the best, and pretty much any modern GPU or CPU, whatever you're using, should be able to run this, providing that you run 1280 by 720. So don't use Lanczos. Don't even waste your time with any of the rest of it. Unless you have a straight garbage old CPU or GPU, there's no need in changing that. Leave that. Okay, on your FPS, frame per second. Common FPS values, obviously. Okay, here's another big one that some people say, oh, okay, well, I can't run 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames. I have to use 30. Don't do it. Just please don't waste anybody's time with that shit. Nobody wants to see that because it looks like ass. Unless you're running a single player game, something really slow, don't do it. Now, if you're running something really slow, so you're running Assassin's Creed, it's going to look fine at 30 frames per second. It's not a problem. But if you run Fortnite, pretty much any first-person shooter game, Warzone, any of the above, do not run it. Do 60 frames per second at 720p, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna look great as long as you stick with that 3500 bit rate. Don't go any higher. 3500. I don't care if you got the best internet in the world. Stay with 3500 bit rate. So this is these are the best settings I've found. I've tried all different stuff. I've tried 1920, 1080, 30 frames. I've tried all the different downscale filters, different frame per second types. Just stick with the common stuff. 60 frames per second, 1280 by 720. Leave your native resolution on the base canvas. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else in here. If you like hotkeys, I don't personally fuck with hotkeys, but if you like hotkeys, none of these are really a super big deal. Your process priority, you can set this to normal, above normal. Personally, I would just leave it at normal. I really wouldn't mess with it. But if you have a really low end CPU, I would definitely set it to high. Something under Ryzen 5 3600, I would definitely set it to high, or a really old Intel. Color format, none of this really matters. You can change this up and do a 709 and a full, but I mean, it does make your color look a little better, but it's not worth the performance that it's going to take on your stuff. So just leave it alone. And unless you're running a huge card, man, you need model card, don't just leave this like it is default. Here's another big one. For GPU is rendered device, make sure you select this. This is going to force it's going to force your GPU to handle your stream instead of your CPU doing all the work. You won't select this, trust me. Do not make sure you select this because it's going to cause you problems if you don't. None of the rest of these are really a big deal. You don't really want a stream delay, so you can select this and leave it at 0. It really doesn't matter. To me, a lot of people are saying select it and leave it at 0, but to me, I feel like it gave it to me. It's like it gave it more of a stream delay than you just leaving it turned on. Even though they say it doesn't, but I think it does. Automatic reconnect doesn't matter. It's generally, if it disconnects, it's not going to reconnect, so it really doesn't. You can leave it on. Okay, network. This is kind of a big one. This is kind of a big one here. When I first started streaming, I used this. I used the dynamically changed bitrate and dropping frames while streaming. It sounds great, but it's not. You just don't. You're using CBR. Just leave this unchecked. Do not check this because it's going to jack shit up, so don't check it. Enable new networking code. You can select it. You don't have to. It's really not a biggie. This is a big one. Low latency mode. You want to select it. If you want to be somewhat current with your viewers, you want to select this, because this is going to really chop off some of your stream delay time running this. Now, it's not going to make it perfect, but it's going to chop off some of the time. So go ahead and select that. This should already be, all this stuff should be default already selected. So leave all that alone. Same questions, not a biggie, not a biggie. I don't care about none of that shit. Theme, I don't know, dude. It's up to y'all. I like the night theme. I don't like the real bright shit. It's bad enough to have to sit and constantly look at the bright ass game all the time. Dude, here's a big one, bro. Like, if you're new to Streamlabs OBS and you don't have a second monitor, this right here is gonna be a godsend. Like, this is going to be a godsend. Download this on your Android phone or here, man. You can use it. Just it works basically identical to a Stream Deck, Elgato Stream Deck. Essentially the same shit. It's free. Won't cost you anything to use it, I think, unless they made it to where you. I don't know, man. You might have to be a Prime member. But anyway, it used to be free. If you have a single monitor, use this right here. If not, trust me, you can get an Elgato mobile Stream Deck. Get it, use it, because it's going to be a godsend if you don't have one monitor. But my suggestion, man, you don't know what you're missing by having two monitors. It's awesome. I've actually got three now. I've got three. It's awesome having multiple monitors. So if you don't have one and you're trying to save up for it, man, get that money saved up, get you another monitor. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, man. You can get the just cheap, plain, generic monitors for your second monitors. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Virtual webcam, not a big deal. I mean, if you don't really have a, if you want to use your shit in conference calls, who gives a fuck about all that? Nobody cares about all that bullshit. Yeah, have one game overlay. You can do this and watch your chat and shit like that, and you don't want to do that though, man. It's just gonna fuck with your game. So just leave that be. Okay, we're gonna go back over this one more time. I guess pretty quick, guys. Video's already been going 12 minutes. Disable hardware acceleration. Don't leave this unchecked. I believe it's unchecked by default, but I can't swear to it. If not, uncheck it. Restart Streamlabs. Self-explanatory. Okay. Advanced audio track 1. Hardware VEC, however the hell you're supposed to say it. New. Make sure you use new. Enforce streaming service encoder settings. Always select that. CBR, big thing right here, CBR. 3500 bit rate, big thing, 3500 bit rate. Don't stay at 3500 bit rate. 0, just set 0, man. Just put it 0. It's auto. It'll automatically set it for you. Just put it 0. Profile high. Disable look ahead. Enable psycho-visual tuning if you want to. You don't have to. GPU is 1. Max B frames of 2. Nothing really here to talk about. Video. 920 by 1080. That is your native base canvas. Whatever your native base monitor is, this is what this needs to be set to. Your output, 1280 by 720. Trust me when I tell you 1280 by 720. Lanzos, however the hell you say that, 32 samples. This is the best downscale filter you're going to use. It's going to look the best. It's not going to look all fucking scaly like the rest of them do. So just go ahead and select this, use this. Common frame per second values on your FPS type. 60 FPS. Do not do 30, please. Just fucking please don't do 30. Anything but 30. Even if you can't do 60 and you want to just do 40, 45, don't do 30. Because if you're playing Warzone or Fortnite or Apex or any of that, it's going to look like shit. Okay. Nothing really major here. Run normal process priority unless you have an old antique fucking dinosaur system. Then you'll want to put it, anything below a Ryzen 3600, you're going to want to probably run high or above normal. But leave it on normal. Outside of that, NV12 format, 601 color space, partial color range, force GPU edge render device. Make sure this is selected. If you're running NVEC and you have an Nvidia graphics card, you select this. Make sure you select this. It's going to force your GPU to do this. It's going to take all the load off of your CPU. You're still going to get CPU load, man. I don't. Streamlabs is just it loves eating up your CPU. Don't matter. It's not nearly as bad if you're using NVEC. No, rest of these are really a big deal. Low latency mode, check it. Rest of them leave one check. And browser, all that should be sorry set. And that's pretty much the end of that, guys. Couple other little things here that would help you out if you're having CPU problems while you're trying to stream in game. Okay, first off, run Streamlabs. Don't run your game in admin mode. Run Streamlabs as administrator. You can set that to where it automatically run it as administrator. Do that. That will help you a ton, because that's going to tell you, it's going to make your CPU keep it ramped up a little higher as far as for running Streamlabs. It's going to put Streamlabs a little higher than everything else. And you want that. Just trust me, you want that. Also, another big one. No, because I have to run this. Personally, I have to run this myself. Once you get your stream started and you're fixing to get ready to game, you're going to want to right-click up here on your scene and click Performance Mode. Click Performance Mode. Here, hell, I'll show you. Right-click on the screen, Performance Mode. Just select it. This is it's going to kick all this off, and it's going to display this. But man, I'm telling you, it makes a tremendous difference. Tremendous difference in your CPU usage. Mine literally goes from like 10% to 5%. Like it's phenomenal, the amount of difference. But you need to make sure before you do that, man, you need to make sure everything you have is set right. Make sure all your scenes and everything is set the way you want them, and everything's working correctly, because you cannot. Like you see all of my blips from my music, my mic. You won't be able to see any of that. It disables all that. It doesn't show you any of that. So, once you go into performance mode, you need to make sure everything is set right, because you're not going to be able to see, any of that over here. But, man, I believe this about ends it. If you like the video, man, y'all be sure to go check me out, dude. We are live daily on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Look me up at Easy Ease Entertainment. God, man, I can't talk. Y'all don't pay no attention to me, man. I can't talk. Love you guys. Check you later.